Hey friends, Tyler Patner here. Welcome to the Pyramyd Insider. Wanted to do a quick video with our president, Val Gamerman, today, talking to you guys about tariffs. But let's talk about how this could impact us as a retailer and the products we sell, right? That's the biggest concern. So, Val, first of all, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you sitting down with us.
For you, Tyler, after you did the multi-pump, yeah, just about
anything.
That's
true. You do owe me one right now. Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you. All right. So, Val, first of all, for anybody that doesn't know, obviously, I'm sure they've all read in the media or whatever, but what is a tariff in terms of how it impacts us?
Yeah, without sounding too much like a teacher, a tariff is a type of a tax that is applied to a product when it's imported, when it is an import tariff, and that's what we're discussing today. How does it impact imported products? And so the amount is determined based on the type of a product, what the nature of the product is. There is a huge list of product categories out there that is internationally recognized and common, and then each country could have its own subcategories and some leeway in how products are categorized. To make a long story short, the tariff is paid by the importer to the U.S. Customs, and they collect this money and then are distributed by the U.S. government for various purposes. So, and some product tariffs are paid for some very specific reasons. Some go into this black hole called the U.S. government treasury.
Sure.
And then we don't know how they're used.
And
that
learning, sounds about right.
But learning more and more every week, seemingly.
Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. So the fair thought, though, would be that at some point these increases hit the consumer, right? Like there's only so much any business, whether it's the importer itself or the retail end of the chain, can absorb, right?
Correct, yeah. And unless there is an absorbent amount of profit margin in a particular category that is benefiting specific business that is between the actual factory and the consumer, then 5%, depending on the business. But yeah, any pressure on profit margin will result in price increases eventually at some point, and depends on the amount and percent of increases, really.
Sure. So for the airgun industry specifically, I know that tariffs are not a new thing, but these folks out there may not understand that. So how long have we been dealing with tariffs, and on what products do those apply, or did they apply before all of this trade war stuff?
So duties and tariffs have existed for airgun categories specifically for many, for as long as I know, and I've been in this for more than 20 years. And they vary. They're normally low single digits, and maybe the only singular exception I can think of is compressors as of 2018 and 2019, where the tariffs have become quite high, and in the case of airgun industry and category specifically, we actually know exactly where our tariffs go, and it happens so that our category duties and tariffs are going towards wetland management, or another way to call it migratory birds management. So it's not quite completely into the black hole, but into a very specific federal government needs. So and not completely out of line with what airgun industry might want.
If it's going to an okay cause, basically.
We think so. Maybe they should be routed to states and wildlife management, DNR, or those places, but that would require some kind of federal legislation or changes on the federal statute level, or federal government needs to make a change in where they're targeting that. So yeah, it's not new. The level and amount of taxes are extremely high, depending on what the country is right now, and that's truly the new. What's changed is the percentages, and yes, it will result in changes for sure.
So like prior to, I guess, this year, we had, I think tariffs were fairly low to manageable, I suppose. Like you said, like single digits in that general ballpark for everything but compressors. obviously there's this, we're talking about potentially upwards of 200% for China specifically, but there were additional tariffs basically levied to the world. So there were countries that previously there were no tariffs on, but now there are tariffs on.
Correct.
So it's impacting I think most people just think this is going to impact China or Chinese goods, and obviously that is certainly the biggest impact.
Correct.
It's really going to impact everything.
Yes, that's for sure. So as long as the tariffs that have been put in place a few weeks ago stay, and I don't believe there is any indication that they're going away anywhere, the impact will be real to pretty much everything that you see. Even USA manufacturers, even they will be impacted because certain parts and components are brought from overseas. Right. And again, sometimes it's by choice, sometimes it's no choice because there is no supplier who actually manufactures this product in the United States, all the way from ore to finished product, even if it's just a metal part of some sort or some other component. So the USA manufacturers may not be as impacted as those who import products from overseas or complete products, but they will be impacted to some extent as well. And for them, it certainly is beneficial, and hopefully it will reignite some manufacturing jobs in the United States and make our manufacturers more competitive.
Sure.
So there may be some positive that comes out of that in that respect, but they will increase prices as well to some extent.
Right. So speaking of price increases, and probably the thing that you guys all want to know out there is, do we have any idea at this point in time? We're filming this on April 17th for what it's worth. And the reason I say at this point in time, because by the time you all see this, it's probably going to change, as it's
Very
changed
likely.
almost every day.
Everything Tyler and I just said may not be true.
Probably doesn't even matter anymore. What price increases have we seen? How much have they been? Have we seen any yet? And when do you anticipate all of this kind of really starts ramping up, I guess, in terms of the consumer's end?
I think that when the first round of tariffs were rolled out, that were high, but something that any business could probably roll out a playbook and manage to some extent, and either apply pressure on suppliers, find internal efficiencies that maybe weren't at the top of the list but now at the top of the list, and find savings where possible, because no business, I can assure you, wants to increase prices to the extent that it might be needed in the short term, because price increases are not liked by consumers, and so neither manufacturer, nor distributor, nor retailers want to increase prices or like to increase prices just because. Right. And so the latest round of tariffs that were rolled out a few weeks ago is excessive to the extent that it is not possible to manage them. And so what that does is just basically hits the pause button on pretty much most of the business activity. And so what is happening and will be happening is businesses, and such as distributors, retailers, importers, manufacturers, will push off the price increases as long as possible to minimize the impact of their overall business. And then at some point where the old inventory levels start coming down and they anticipate the new inventory will come in and cost more or a lot more, the price increases will be passed on. And that is already happening. So the first round of increases, within 2 to 3 weeks, businesses in the category reacted and rolled out anticipated new pricing, and when it will go into effect, that will probably change again, but those who reacted to the first round of increases, specifically on select countries, probably have to redo their planning and either choose to pause business activity or find other sources, other suppliers, which is extremely time-consuming and difficult.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and summarize this as best I can.
You being AI right now?
Yeah, sure. I'll chat GPT this moment. So if I'm hearing you correctly, what you're saying is that price increases as a result of the current tariffs that are being publicized out there, haven't really hit the consumer yet. But the result of those not hitting the consumer is that new products are not being shipped from existing suppliers, or they're pausing
replenishment.
all of that.
Yeah. So and some today, as of April 17, some price increases have been rolled out. They're not drastic yet, but it may go up from there depending on how quickly these disputes are resolved.
Sure.
You may end up seeing price increases taken across the board, regardless of where the country of origin of the product is, to help absorb some of these margin decreases.
Interesting.
So any business needs to be profitable to exist, and the ability to generate positive cash flow is what determines either business exists or not. And so if you can generate positive cash flow somewhere else, you will. Sorry for using too much of a terminology.
I think positive cash flow is something everybody can identify with. Maybe not in their bank account, but in general, everybody gets the concept. That's important.
When you have less than zero in your bank account,
right? You have a problem.
So yes, the impact will be happening, and in reality, it may also come in and cause shortages in short term if the disputes are not resolved quickly.
Sure. Okay.
As an out of stock and so on and so forth.
Yeah, right. With no expected in stock date at that point, because there's nothing on the water.
Yeah, and I want to in advance apologize to our customers. We basically have currently, as of a few weeks ago, only two modes. It's either in stock and we tell you the expected delivery date to you when you check out, or if it's out of stock and we don't have a firm date, it just says past due.
Right.
And or if the date when we expect it to come in, then it arrives. But at the moment, we're 95% correct on our estimates, 95, 96%.
That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. I expect that.
And you mean correct to the extent that we have the information from our suppliers?
Yes. So the information we have and we publish, yes, that we have and we publish to our customers is between 94 and 96 on average.
Okay.
And been like this since past COVID. During COVID, it dropped.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But for the past 2-3 years, we're doing pretty good where we want to be. We would like to be 100%, but that's not possible.
I was thinking before we sat down about industries or companies, and you brought up American manufacturing earlier, that may be safer or less impacted by this, and I'm really struggling to think of anything. Even I think the American manufacturer you were alluding to is Air Force.
Correct.
Even they get barrels from Germany, right? Which didn't, I think, have a tariff before, and now they do.
And now they do. Yeah.
So
they had a little bit of tariff actually, even before. Yeah.
Okay. So, but now it's more, right? And there's still raw materials. You don't know where they're sourcing that from or where their supplier of raw materials, like the aluminum for the frames, is being sourced from. So, that's just I wouldn't want to be in supply chain management right now.
No,
that would be a nightmare.
No. I know a few people in our company that are enjoying.
Yes, I'm trying to avoid those people or adding to those people's problems as much as I can.
Give them a positive something every day.
Yes, right. Hey man, you doing all right? Okay.
A smile, a pat on the back.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, but this is, I'm just thinking about the scale of this. And so airguns, certainly, optics, certainly, ammo, right, for sure. Archery products that aren't made here, even probably a lot of the archery products that are made here as well, because again, raw materials. There's so many things that are going to be impacted by this in some way, shape, or form. Right. The other thing I was thinking about, there's this big merger, buyout, whatever, of Crossman by Gamo Daisy, and there's still some manufacturing happening in New York right now. Do you think that changes?
I would not be closing down any manufacturing facility in the United States right now if I was in charge of any business. Yeah. So if you can manufacture something in the United States, I think you should leave it around.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, good thing. Keep it around. Yeah. Do not hurry to shut it down.
Yeah,
so
fair
there's
enough.
Nothing to do with anything other than just common sense. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. So is there any parting words or other things I've not thought about or that we've talked about as it pertains to tariffs, potential supply chain interruptions, products that were supposed to be here that may not be here anymore?
I would say the only think is the world is not ending, it's changing. There will be some winners and losers, but at the end of the day, we in the United States are all impacted by it, and we are a US-based business, regardless of where the product is being imported from. And that's the bottom line. We're all on the same side. So there is no, oh my God, I can't believe you're importing this from this country, and because of that, your business is no good. That's not how I view the world, and I hope that our viewers approach it the same way.
Yeah. So basically, guys, we're trying to hold off price increases as long as we can, and I think all of our suppliers are attempting to do the same.
That's correct.
Stay tuned. I mean, this is changing, like we said earlier, by the day, and all we can do is react to it. Sadly, nobody's in control. Oh, that's something I wanted to ask you. Does the industry have enough, potentially, money, leverage, political connections, whatever you want to call it, to do anything about this?
No, I don't believe industry has that kind of pull.
Hopefully you guys found this helpful, or at least illuminating from an information standpoint. Val, thank you so much for taking the time.
More than welcome.
I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, let us know down in the comments. I will tap this guy on the shoulder if anything comes up that I can't answer and say, hey man, can you chime in here? Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the things. We appreciate you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.